Hello and welcome to News from the Roost. I'm your host, David Smith, and today my guest is the leading actress from Rock of Ages, Natalie Vanskiver. Welcome to the show, Natalie. So glad you're here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I tell you, I know things are super busy right now in the production of Rock of Ages. This is sometimes, I think, what people call Hell Week or something like that, or production
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Hell Week, yeah. And so I know things are real busy. You've probably had late nights practicing, maybe going through practicing music or whatever. So I appreciate you taking the time out to be with us today. But
Yeah.
I was curious about your theater background. I had I had told you earlier before the show. I said that I was, it's part of my responsibility to kind of do some little bit of a background search on you. And Natalie, you're like all over the internet. It wasn't too hard to do. I thought first I was going to have to do some digging, and I just typed in, Natalie Vanskiver, actress, and like you blew up my Google there. So, can you give us a little bit of idea? I mean, I think the audience is really going to appreciate your background. Tell us a little bit about how you got into acting, maybe some of the your favorite shows you've been a part of.
Yeah, so I've wanted to be an actress ever since I was little, and it's changed a little bit, but not much. But I've always wanted to act and everything. So I saw like the first show I was in was Cinderella, so I saw a flyer for it in the elementary school, and I was like, oh, I got to try out for this, And I was little. I loved to do performing. I was a cheerleader. I did gymnastics, so I was very like into performing and like showing
Mhm.
tricks and doing all that stuff. So I auditioned. I mean, start small, got ensemble. I've gotten ensemble for a bit of the ways and worked my way up to my first like supporting role, which was in Frozen. Um, and I got to be teenage Anna, so not the full grown Anna, but
Gotcha.
the one in the middle.
Uh-huh.
So, but recently, my favorite role that out of all the productions I've done was Anne Boleyn from Six, and
Wow.
that was the best one I've ever done or ever experienced as an actor. So,
I gotta ask you about that, right? Because like, I
oh
know
yeah,
the women that I know that are in this industry right now, that's all they're talking about is if they get a chance to play, one of the female roles that they want to be one of those six. I mean, that's
oh yeah.
and they're singing the song from it all the time. Where did you do this? Where did you get the chance to be in that role?
So it's a funny story. Like Rock of Ages for Mamma Mia, we were gonna do before Rock of Ages, and then obviously we didn't get the rights, so we got Rock of Ages. Before Six, we were gonna do High School Musical. We got the rights and everything. The show was set. We didn't have enough male um, actors
Oh,
trying out. So what a perfect show to do Six because of all of the girls, and it's very like woman empowerment, and yeah, the
well, it's a
it's
riveting
the best
story.
show.
It's a riveting story, and you know that you talked about the issue of not having, a lot of guys, to be a part of the show, and that happens more often than not. You get all the way up to the
Yeah.
casting thing, and you've advertised the show, and you get there, and there's not enough guys. I know myself as a former director.
Mhm.
There have been places we've gotten into the end. It's just like, hey, wait a second, can we cast this? I've literally
Yeah.
had to go out into the hallway and pull some people people in, or make a few phone calls and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I totally get that. What made
Yeah.
you audition? What made you audition for School of Rock specific, or excuse me, Rock of Ages specifically? What made you audition for that one?
Um, I'm gonna be completely honest. I really didn't know what the show was when they announced that we were gonna change over to Rock of Ages. I really
Mhm.
wanted to try out for Sophie in Mamma Mia, but then with the change, it didn't really happen. So when I got the call back for Sherrie, I was like, oh, I should probably look into this. And actually, I really enjoy playing her.
She huh, that's a tough role. I mean, that's
It
a
really is.
great
Yeah.
role. It's a great role to have. When I saw the show in Buffalo, the touring companies, when I saw it with the touring company when they were in Buffalo, I mean, she's just singing all the time. She's got her character is very, in depth. She's got a lot of things going on. And so I totally get it. You definitely got your work cut out for you, but by the sounds of it, you've got the power and the skills to experience to back it up. So good for you. What about actresses that maybe inspire you as you're growing in your, theatrical career? I mean, there's got to be some inspiration
Yeah.
there somewhere.
I'm gonna be honest, my biggest influence has to be Millie Bobby Brown, as she
Really?
played 11 in Stranger Things. That was my first, like, okay, she's good, and I want to be like her, and I want to do all this stuff. So she really makes me like influenced by her work, and I just want to keep pushing to become as good as her, or even better. And yeah, just
No,
keep pushing.
no, I think that that's, boy, I enjoyed her in Stranger Things too, I tell you, and as her character kept getting, more and more involved, of course, as the show, the series progressed, and for somebody so young, wow, she just really's got some acting talent for sure.
Mhm.
I
Oh yeah.
does she sing? I don't even know if she sings. Does she sing? Is she a singer too?
I don't think she sings. I
Uh,
know she can sing.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I never saw it or anything where she does, but usually that's how things usually work. They can dance and they can sing and do all
Yeah.
kinds of things. Magic tricks, who knows? But there's a lot of songs that you have in the show. Speaking of singing, you sing just about, well, I don't know about just about every one, but a lot of them. I mean,
Yeah.
you have duets, and you have solos, and you got,
Yeah.
these stuff, all over the place, with your leading man there, of course, too. But, what do you find do you have a song that you think is the most challenging, or one that whenever you start to sing it, that you're like, "Oh boy, here it comes. I better get warmed up for
Oh
this.
yeah.
I better drink my water," or whatever. Tell us about that one.
Yeah. So Heart in My Heart we do, and it crosses between Shadows of the Night, which um, Justice sings while I'm singing Heart in My Heart. That one is pretty tough because it goes high notes, low notes, and it's like hard to balance. I'm more of a higher range, so reaching those low notes can be difficult at times, but Um, I try to just warm up my voice a lot before I go on, drink some water, but it's very quick change into that scene, so rapid to get warmed up to sing that.
Well, I don't know too much about, Corner Flash. They did, of course, The Heart in My Heart there, but
Yeah,
Shadows of the Night, Pat Benatar, I mean, she was classically trained. Do
it's
you
so
do
good.
classic have you ever studied, like, voice and, like, voice lessons and stuff? Is that something you have to do, or
I've never gotten a voice lesson before, but I feel like that in previous productions, I've gotten a lot of advice, tips, training within just doing theater itself because I don't really have time to do voice lessons.
No,
But
I get it. I mean, that's the loves. I just, that's fantastic that you're able to do that and have those kinds of skills that you can do that. Your character, Sherry, you touched on her a little bit, and with I know you don't want to give like a lot of the secrets away, like how the show ends, so we don't want to do that. But Sherry's got a lot going on, and of course, it takes it's all these '80s music, so and rockers and all that stuff we know. But tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that Sherry might be dealing with.
yeah, so she deals with pretty much a lot. I can kind of relate to her character as I am very influenced by like the film industry and acting and all that. So I can see where her struggle can be um, difficult at times, and with like the romance coming into play. and everything. So she also has to deal with the weight of her parents, kind of an unsupporting um, role coming from the parents that she has to deal with herself. So she has to figure everything out kind of by herself. She wants to move away to pursue her dreams. Um,
Mm.
but along the way, she stops and realizes that there's some more moments she needs to take in before wanting to go and be an actress. She has to learn the way of kind of how the city works and all of that.
That kind of makes sense. And this is kind of a story, sounds to me like a story that a lot of people can relate to if you're trying to get into
Mhm.
the area of show business. And you said something about how you can relate to her and her situation a little bit. It's been a long time since I've been in the business, a long time. But do you ever find, I'm talking about you now, not Sherrie. Well, Sherrie maybe too, but do you ever find that as you're trying to develop this career as a young person, a young actress, that relationships can be tough because, you know, acting and singing is like really personal and it takes so much time? Do you ever find that you have to balance between, relationships and your commitment to your craft?
Yeah, definitely. There'll be times when I'm not seeing my own family a lot because I'll be at practice. Sometimes I'll help paint, build sets, just do anything I can within the theater. But then I need to balance family life, and then I have to see my friends. So that can be hard to balance at times. But also, if if you get your family and friends involved in the theater, then it's easy. But
Well, it sounds to me like at the Lake Country Players, it sounds to me like they create an environment where you can make a lot of friends that you're actually acting
um,
alongside. Is that true?
yeah, it's epic. The amount of people I've met, the amount of bonds, um, it's crazy. If there was one person that didn't do a show, I would have never have known them or get to work with them and create such a special bond between the other person.
Speaking of that, I think that Rock of Ages can kind of draw people into theater that maybe have not been
Yeah.
going to theater before because it's like music of the '80s, jukebox theater, and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot of people that would like to know kind of what goes on behind the scenes of actors and actresses when you're kind of doing all this stuff. Now, I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of neat rituals or like just routines. Like knock 3 times before you go through the stage door, or in different things, or don't do this, or superstitions, or
Mhm.
before every performance, we get around in a circle and I don't know, do whatever. Do you have something like that, a routine that might people might find interesting, or that your group does that people might find interesting that you do?
So me personally, I try to take the day very light, not use my voice a lot until needed. There's always like that 2 hour rule where it's like eat a couple hours before the show so you're not like getting all that
Mhm.
yucky stuff when you're singing. But coming into the theater, I try to get either before call time or closest to call time, and I make sure to say hello to everybody because we're all going through the same emotions and getting everything ready, being very nervous. So I try to stay very calm backstage and make sure I say hello to everybody because I know how it feels to be nervous and make sure you know all your lines, make sure you're hitting the right notes. So just being very lively backstage. I mean, some people like to focus and be in the character and try to be kind of tunneled in to be the character, but if they're doing that, obviously I'll leave them alone. But like talk to a bunch of people.
Gotcha. You probably know just how to read the cast members if you see them over there reciting their lines backstage, or going through some sort of vocal warm up or something. But
Yeah.
that's really interesting. You know, August 6th through the 9th, you have shows August 6th through the 8th, I think, at 7 o'clock at the Watkins Glen High School Auditorium. But then you also have a 2 p.m. matinee on Sunday, correct?
Yep.
Now, I have heard you can get tickets at the door. I'm going Sunday, and this is something I'm not gonna miss for sure. I'm gonna see the 2 o'clock matinee. Somebody said that this show is double cast. Is everybody double cast?
So I am double casted. I get Friday and Sunday show.
Oh, well, then I'll
My
see you on Sunday then, I guess. Who's your double cast who's going to be opening on Thursday?
So her name is Emma Eichenhofer, and oh my gosh, she is beautiful. She plays the role so well. Her voice is beautiful. I've never met her before. This is the first time working with her. She's going to school for musical theater, so it's a great opportunity to work with her because she kind of knows the way and she can help me.
I would think there'd be I gotta bring it up, right? I mean, because 'cause we're all thinking it.
Yeah,
I would think that there'd be a little competition there. Like, if somebody's doing the part on Thursday and I'm doing the part on Friday, does that
yeah.
ever get in the way, or is it kind of a healthy thing? How do you 2 kinda work that out?
Um, for me, double casting, I don't see as a competition as much. Like, I could give her a note, she could give me a note on what I'm doing wrong, but at the end of the day, she's herself and then I'm myself. So we're playing Sherrie the way we see her. So it can be a competition, but it's more like, okay, how is Natalie gonna play Sherrie? How is Emma gonna play Sherrie?
That sounds to me like that's the safest way to go, the safest way to
Yeah,
work through, and so, I would guess you probably, kind of avoid approaching somebody, say, "Hey, did you think did you notice that you did XYZ wrong?" You probably avoid that like the plague, am I right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if there's there's a different way to approach the scene than what the other person's doing. I say totally go for it because you never know how it's gonna go, and there's always the director there to just tell you like, oh, do this way. Like
Okay, so now
it's gonna be
you don't have
different.
alright, for this next thing, you don't have to tell me specifically what it is, alright? I don't wanna know that. But just tell me, is there one thing that you think that you picked up from did you say Emma?
Emma, yep,
Yeah. One thing that you picked up from Emma and thought, I think I could probably use that." Is there anything like that? Don't tell us what it is, but is there something like that that you've ever picked up from her and said, "I might be able to work that in?"
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the way to be honest. But you know what? I bet you anything that if I had Emma on here too, I bet you she would say the same thing about you. Do you think?
yeah.
Yes, I know she would've. And that's part of us growing as artists, is to know what we can pick up from other people. Before we finish out today, can you tell us like anything about the show that you want to tell us? Anything that you want to make sure that why this audience should not miss this special performance?
I think due to all of the pop culture, like all the pop culture girlies being in the music right now, I think it takes a break and brings back the traditional culture that really made music what it is today.
Mm,
Because rock is hev- it's heavy with our culture today because it's how it's how we express ourselves. It's how we go about our lives and just tell people like this is how I'm feeling because throughout the show we're using these songs that were previously made and saying like
mhm.
this is how I'm feeling and portraying emotion. So it's just beautiful to be able to experience that.
Well, I am sure that you and the rest of the cast are gonna actually bring that energy and bring that emotion to the audience when they come see you August 6th through the 9th at Watkins Glen High School, brought to you by the Lake Country Players. Uh, I'll tell you, Natalie Vanskiver, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy that you came and joined us remotely today. News
Thank you.
news from the Roost. Break a leg on Sunday, break a leg on Friday too, but, come out everybody and come see these wonderful actors and actresses, in Rock of Ages. You're gonna love it for sure. So with that, Natalie, thank you again. and stick
Thank
around
you.
because we're going to go over a few more things before you take off for the day. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody. Be safe.